The Lord be with you. This may be the view that you're used to having of me over the last few weeks, but soon church services that are open to the public will resume. So I'm making this short video just to explain some of the measures we're taking in our group of parishes. I will still be up this end of the church taking the services. I'm going to take each of the church services from inside the chancel areas of each church using the Holy Table as a prayer desk, so that it doesn't matter if I'm not wearing a face covering. We do recommend that people wear face coverings, but they aren't mandatory, just recommended. We've looked at our churches and we hope that by sensible social distancing, we should all be able to remain safe. So I'd like to take you down to the other end of the church and we can have a look at what it will look like. And as we go, I'd just like to bring your attention to this poster. You may see one of these at the church that you go to, saying, wash your hands, cover your mouth if coughing or sneezing, avoid touching your face, use the hand sanitizer, no handshaking or hugging, and keep a safe distance. There will also be a notice explaining that we are trying to do our best, and it's the same notice that I put on the parish Facebook page just to try and familiarise everybody with it and the measures that we're taking. So, just to come in as you will come in. So we're asking people when they come in that they should come in without any delays, and they will find at the back of the church these things. There's hand sanitizer, which we'll ask everybody to use, and then there are some pens and labels. With the labels, that's because we are asking that people would bring a small piece of paper with their name and telephone number if they're not on the parish list to leave behind in the pews. This is in case we need to do contact tracing. But in case you forget your piece of paper, there'll be a label here. Peeling off from the bottom so that you're not touching the next label, we'd ask you to take a label, take a pen, to write your name and, as I said, your number if you're not on the parish list, and bring it with you to leave in your pew. Now, about the pews. You can see here that I've laid out with prayer books and hymnals clearly visible in each pew that we're asking people to sit in. Not that we're using the hymnals, but they're there just to indicate the pews that we can use. Some of you may see that you may not be able to sit in the pew that you usually sit in. However, if you do pass your usual pew, or if you're near your usual pew and your hymn book or your prayer book is in your pew, please feel free to go and retrieve your book, but then please sit in one of the pews that we've assigned for sitting in. In the pews, there are some tissues. Please, if you use the tissues, take the whole packet home. If you don't, leave them alone and leave them there in case somebody else needs them. If you wish, you can take the prayer book home with you, having used it, so long as you do bring it back if it's not your own one. So, we're asking you, when you come in, go straight to a pew. If you need to retrieve your own hymn book, do so, but then sit in one of the assigned pews and sit in from the aisle. So where the hymnal and prayer book have been placed would indicate how far in we're asking you to sit. This should leave 2 meters from the centre of the aisle to where people will be sitting. So, for example, if I usually sat in this pew, I would walk up here, take my personal prayer book, and go and sit in this pew. At the end of the service, then, we will leave through the same door that we've come in, through the back door, but I'll ask the people at the back of the church to leave first, and those towards the front of the church to wait until those at the back have left before they leave. Everybody then will depart without delay. They may sanitize their hands on the way out, and after they go through the door, which will be left open during each of the services, as they go out, we ask them please not to congregate here by the entrance, but if they want to stop and natter, maybe to move off onto the grass, and then they can have a socially distanced chat. Hopefully, by doing all these things, we'll all stay safe and everything will go well. Just to make an extra point, as you can see from our layout here, there are approximately 12 pews in Baltinglass that we can use if we are to ensure social distancing. Those are the ones that you can clearly see here in the body of the church, but there's also, we can use one side pew. If somebody is assisting by reading a lesson, I'm going to ask them to sit in the chancel area and use the pew to the side here. Thus, they'll be at least 5 metres away from me and socially distant from the main congregation. And they'll be the only ones, therefore, using the microphone that would be here. In doing all these things, we hope to stay safe. So as I said, here in Baltinglass, we have 12 pews in the congregation. In Stratford, our reckoning is that there are 7 pews. In Ballinure, only 6, although there is standing space at the back of the church, and also there would be standing space in the area under the tower. In Rathvilly, there are 17 pews that can be used. So, if you are going to come to one of our church services, if you're not going to a church to which you usually attend, I would ask that you please bear in mind the size of that church and their regular congregation. So maybe if you're going to a church which is not your usual church, you would go to one of the churches that has a slightly larger number of pews that can be occupied. Of course, people who are in the same household can all occupy the same pew. Gurmila Margaret, thank you all very much. God bless you and keep you, and I look forward to seeing some of you back here for worship quite soon. God bless.